The Dark Ages were not just a time of war and disease. They were also defined by fear, much of it rooted in religion. From the suppression of heretics to the persecution of witches, the church held immense power, and questioning it often came at a deadly cost. In today's video, we're exploring the chilling reality of religious oppression and fear during the Dark Ages. During the Dark Ages, the church wasn't just a place of worship. It was the center of power. It controlled not only spiritual life, but also politics, law, and education. The Pope wielded authority over kings, and priests dictated the moral compass of entire communities. To challenge the church was to challenge the social order, a risk very few dared to take. Heresy, or holding beliefs that contradicted church doctrine, was one of the greatest crimes of the Dark Ages. Those accused of heresy face interrogation, torture, and often execution. The fear of being labeled a heretic silenced many who might have questioned the church's teachings. One infamous case was that of Jan Hus, a reformer who criticized church corruption. In 1415, he was burned at the stake, his death serving as a warning to others. The Inquisition, which began in the late Middle Ages, was a system designed to root out heretics. It relied on fear, secrecy, and brutal tactics to maintain control. Accusations could be based on little more than rumor, and once accused, your fate was almost sealed. Confessions were often extracted through torture, and even those who confessed rarely escaped punishment. The fear of witchcraft gripped Europe during the Dark Ages, especially as superstitions grew. Women, often healers or those who lived alone, were easy targets for accusations of consorting with the devil. The infamous water test was used to determine guilt. Suspects were tied and thrown into water. If they floated, they were declared guilty and executed. If they sank, they were considered innocent, though it often cost them their lives. Excommunication was another powerful tool of control. To be excommunicated meant being cut off from the church and its sacraments, a fate believed to doom one's soul to eternal damnation. Excommunication wasn't just spiritual, it was social. Those cast out were often ostracized by their communities, left to live in isolation and despair. Fear was the church's most effective tool. The promise of heaven and the threat of hell kept the masses obedient, while public punishments ensured that dissent was silenced. This wasn't just spiritual control, it was political and cultural dominance, shaping every aspect of life in the Dark Ages. The suppression of knowledge and alternative beliefs came at a high cost. Pagan traditions, scientific exploration, and cultural diversity were often stamped out in favor of strict religious orthodoxy. Entire communities were erased, and progress was stalled as fear and dogma overshadowed curiosity and innovation. By the end of the Dark Ages, the church's grip on power began to loosen. The Renaissance and Reformation ushered in new ideas, challenging centuries of fear and oppression. The scars of this period remain a powerful reminder of the dangers of unchecked authority and the suppression of free thought. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the religious oppression and fear of the Dark Ages. Which part of this era shocked or intrigued you the most? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more historical explorations. Until next time, stay curious and seek truth,